All right, what's up with the grassroots family? You're not tuned in with us, man. We're gonna do a quick live, man. This right here is just to highlight a few people. Um, I guess you would say in the community that to me has some kind of suspect things to say about the whole Carmelo Anthony situation. It's just certain things you expect to hear from a certain demographic of people. And then, you just don't expect to hear that from your own. But yeah, got a couple of people out there voicing their opinion. Like I say, we're gonna get right into it. Let me share screen. We're gonna go first with a guy by the name of Rob Smith. Y'all know this guy? Rob Smith. Look at it. Don't he kind of remind you of somebody? I don't know if y'all familiar with the TV show The Boondocks, but that's who Rob Smith remind me of right there. He remind me of time. I mean, definitely. So we gonna hear what he had to say about the whole situation. So let's get right into it. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Let's go.
Is indicative of a major, major issue that is going on with the culture. And you can hate me, you call me whatever you want to. Y'all done called me everything that you can ever call me. Like there's no new words for you to call me. All right. And I've been called them by everybody. Like, still don't care. Checks still being cashed. All right. Life.
I mean, hey, at least he being honest about it, right? It's about the checks. It's not about the community. It's not about helping anybody. It's not about you know bettering the situation. It's about punching down and cashing checks. I mean, come on, let's go.
As Paris Hilton would say, still slid it. All right. I don't personally care. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to take a look in the mirror and decide that this is who you want to be. And this is not going to reach the vast majority of Black people because the vast majority of Black people are lost and cannot be found and cannot be saved. But what I do believe is that there's a talented 10th idea. And I've always subscribed to
Talking about that talented 10th, you know, he comes off real boule, you know. So yeah, watch the language. Let's go.
that idea. And the talented 10th idea is, I believe it came from, I think it was Booker T. Washington. It was either Booker T. Washington or W.B. Du Bois, which basically said that there's a talented 10% of, in those days, the Negroes in America. And that talented 10% is going to be successful. In this day and age, there's really only that 10% of Black people that are really going to get it. And this is beyond politics, because I personally don't care who anybody votes for. This is America. I'm going to tell you who I'm going to vote for. I'm always going to vote for Republican. That's not going to change. But at the end of the day, Democrat, Republican doesn't matter. If you are not getting the memo as a Black person in this country that you have to look in the mirror and you have to start doing better and you have to start taking accountability, then you're going to find yourself with that 90%. So the question to you is, do you want to be the talented 10th or do you want to be the negative 9? Black people across the country who, by the way, have the lowest.
Now he's saying that as to say that because one Black person commits a crime that's all of us. I mean, no, that's that person that did that's not the majority of the population. So, but he's speaking to the majority. Now, speak to that person that did that did a crime. And in my opinion, in this Carmelo Anthony situation, in my opinion, as I have the information that I have, I feel like this brother was defending himself. What I feel like is what I know is that if you are somebody that had no problem with what happened to Jordan Neely, a man that only used his words, didn't touch anybody, didn't charge anybody, didn't damage any property. If you're okay with what happened to him, but have a different opinion about this situation, to me, it's obvious. It's obvious bias. It's obvious that some of these guys here that I'm going to show here, especially Officer Tatum, I'm going to show a video of him speaking on the Daniel Penny situation and this Karmelo Anthony situation. You can just see the flip flop. Let's go.
Median income of any other group in this country, by the way, that seem to take the choice and make the choice to dig into their wallets and to shell out money for a young Black teenager that killed another teenager. This is what we glorify in Black culture. This is what people stand up for in Black culture. And I'm tired of people being too afraid to say what is really the truth about what's going on in that community. Now, I've been all over this on TikTok and on Instagram, and I don't really get into too many of the comments, but what I've been seeing from a lot of these Black people that are in the comment sections, writing against me, like calling me all the names that they always call me, is that they're saying, well, Karmelo Anthony, like that white kid shouldn't have been an aggressor. You don't get up in people's face, and you don't get up in people's face like that. So what you are telling me is that if somebody gets into your face and if somebody is aggressive towards you, then that gives you the right to kill them. It's completely absurd. But again,
that's not the details of what I know. What I know is that, or the details that I have is that the Mr. Metcalf got physical with Mr. Anthony and was warned not and destroyed property and was warned not to do it again. That's not just getting, that's not using your words. Now you're physical, and you have people with you, like your brother and maybe somebody else. I don't want to speculate too much. I'm not here to give any false information or anything like that. But it was not, Mr. Metcalf didn't just use his words. Okay? So he's not being truthful. Let's go.
It's a lack of accountability culture. Blacks in this country are
blacks. Like he ain't one of them. Okay.
Like take zero accountability. It is a no accountability culture, because only a no accountability culture can exist like this. Only a zero accountability culture can be where blacks are in society right now, at the lowest bottom of the barrel when it comes to income, when it comes to wealth, when it comes to net worth, when it comes to education, like all of this stuff. And that can only come from a zero accountability culture. Because if you are in the place that blacks are right now in American society, I'm talking about right now, if you are in that place, that requires a strong look in the mirror. That requires you basically saying that I cannot be right. There is something that I am doing that is wrong. And if you find yourself,
it's just giving self-hate for me, man. I'm good. I mean, we see what dude stand right here. Just trash. That's a lot of projection, man. And and like I say, it's a lot of projection for a lot of people. There's no way you can paint everybody with that brush. Are there problems in the community? Yes. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like, we didn't just see somebody get off with deleting somebody that didn't touch anyone or anything. And I believe, didn't they try to raise money for that guy also? I don't know. I don't know the details, so I'm not gonna speak on it. But we're gonna get into Jason Whitlock. Jason Shitlock. We're gonna get into him, man. And he had a few things to say. And then somebody had something to say about him. We're gonna get into that video next. Let's see what Jason Whitlock has to say. Let's go.
again, I talked to someone that knew the victim and the perpetrator, and the understanding in the community is that Carmelo Anthony and several of his friends were heavily influenced by hip hop, by I want to say this factually or fairly, the whole Percocet deal that a lot of these rappers love to rap about and love to brag about, getting girls on Percocet, themselves being on Percocet, and that if they're alleging to me or messaging to me that if you look at some of the friends that um, Carmelo Anthony had, one in particular, a kid named Jahan Izzle Sheffield, who was arrested last February, I believe, on drug charges. I was able to Google this information and see the kid's mugshot, see that the mugshot was around early February of 2024. And I'm being told this was like a friend of Carmelo Anthony, and that these kids were kind of notorious for being suburban kids that wanted to live out their rap music fantasy, their hip hop fantasy. I've been seeing this all my life. I've been seeing uh, young black.
So what I take from this is, since Carmelo Anthony is not, I guess, what he would think your typical black kid would be, single mother raised, father not in his life, um, come from, poverty, things of that nature. Since Carmelo doesn't fit that profile in real life, and you can go off about that, since he doesn't fit it in real life, you have to hypothetically, um, you have to at least say, well, he wanted to be like that. Oh, he was a suburban kid, but he dreamed about being a thug. You know, it like I say, you expect a certain group of people to do this, but not somebody with that face, and believe me, that's a ugly ass face, but you know what I mean. They selling out for the bag, and it is so obvious. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. Because assumptions can be made all across the board. What about the little white kids that fantasize about being thugs? You have those too. Mr. Metcalf could have been that. But why do that at all? Why put any assumption on it, at any assumptions on it at all at this point? It just breeds bias. But I digress, man. Let's go.
Kids in particular uh, fantasize about being rappers, fantasize about being from the ghetto, fantasize about living a boys in the hood life, and while living a very suburban Heathcliff Huxtable life. There's a culture that's being promoted and that is pervasive, that is influencing young people, both black and white. And some of the people I've talked to, it's like they're concerned about their kids being influenced by this same culture and running around with kids that are influenced by this same culture, and their kids getting in trouble. And look, this is prevalent. Drugs and kids experimenting with drugs when they're in high school, and alcohol and all that. That's been going on for years and years and years. But there used to kind of be a stigma attached to that. Now all the stigma has been removed, and the kids using Percocet at parties and doing sexually explicit things, that's all the popular thing to do now. And so this community is struggling with that. There is some sympathy for Karmelo Anthony's family because people think, hey, these were actually good people trying to put their kids in a good environment and trying to do the right things, but their kids are involved in things and involved in a culture that is dragging them into the muck.
I mean, like I said, man, everybody wants to put so many assumptions on it. Instead of it just being two kids that was in a situation where one was getting bullied. I mean, that happens. People get bullied. And it doesn't have anything to do with gang culture, Percocets, Molly Percocets, or none of that crap. But Jason Whitlock is a mouthpiece for a certain group of people. And it's crazy that even that group of people will call him out on it. And he'll still do it. So I believe this is Nick Fuentes calling Jason Whitlock out for being what he is, a mouthpiece for suspected white supremacists. So let's go.
Your contract, your employees. And by the way, you are a token. Hey, Jason, you're a token. You are in conservative media as a black guy that can confer upon white people the dignity of not being called a racist for having their views. That's why you get paid. And that's why I don't, because I didn't have the privilege of being born black. I was born white. So there's a limit on what I can say. There's a limit on what I can say without being penalized in the so-called free marketplace of ideas. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows. And everybody's sick of it, especially in the conservative space, that blacks have had it easy. It is, and I don't doubt that he's a sincere person. I'm sure he's a sincere person. I'm sure he's genuine. But you are playing by a different set of rules, pal. You have training wheels on. You think you've earned it? Everything you have. Take a look around at your studio, your contract, your employees. If you said the stuff that you said as a white person, your ass would be fucking gone. And everybody knows that. You're on Blaze hosting E. Michael Jones talking about the Jews. It's a good fucking thing you're black, because if
yeah, let me just hit it there because he going off, man. Let me. That's enough, Nick Fuentes for YouTube, I believe. But yeah, you see the sentiment, man. Even the people that they try to cape for, they don't like you. They don't like you. Like they may give you a little money here and there, But we gonna go to Officer Tatum next, man. And like I said, my real problem with this situation is the people that caped for Daniel Penny, but now you have a total different view about this situation. And we're gonna see Officer Tatum, in my opinion, just totally flip-flop. It's crazy. Like, I'm more surprised at the people that believe this stuff. So let me share screen. Let's get to it. Y'all remember, like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Let's go over to YouTube, see what Officer Tatum has to say, man.
If you have a 700 plus credit score, you qualify for Chase's new program where you can access up to 100.
This dude showed every element, because I don't give a about going to jail. That he was, sir, the man with a genuinely makes my mind boil, because this young man should have never been even under investigation for anything. Jordan Neely,
talking about Daniel Penny, should have been even under investigation for anything. Called him a hero. Let's go.
decided that he was going to use drugs and be a nut. He gets on the transit system, threatened to take the lives of people on the thing. You got black women, children, kids. I mean, you got people of all races and ages, and this guy's on there threatening people. He said, and then they say, calm down, bro. I don't care about going to jail. This dude showed every element of being a threat to society that you could possibly do. He came on, his physical demeanor, threatening. He verbally said, I'm going to do this. And then he said, I don't care about going to jail. He literally completed the web of criminal behavior. He said, his behavior alluded to it. He said, I'm going to commit this crime, and then I don't care about going to jail. So nothing is going to stop me. Calling the police ain't going to stop me. You talking to me ain't going to stop me because I don't give a about going to jail. Daniel Penny, being the hero that he was, served this country honorably, said,
Man, come on, man. Listen to everything you said. He said he said what he was going to do. He had a demeanor. He didn't touch anybody. He didn't destroy any property. And he calling Daniel Penny a hero for sneaking up behind this guy, Jordan Neely, and putting him in a hole that he never got out of. That don't sound like a hero to me, man. But let's go. Just a little bit more of this, man. Let's go. And then we're going to look at the flip-flop.
I need to take action as a man with a pair. I'm not going to sit there and let this dude threaten people and then he go hurt somebody and I'm sitting there with my tail between my legs being a coward. So what does Daniel Penny do? Because he got that dog in him. He said, I'm going to stop this guy before he hurts somebody. Everybody else.
I mean, he just sucking him off. He just completely sucking him off right there. That's crazy. But he'll demonize the little brother. And completely just suck the white man off. Man, you gotta be kidding me, man. Hey, this dude a clown. Anybody that believe this, I don't care if you're a right winger or you know, whoever you are. I can't believe y'all let this even near you. I mean, he's obviously pandering. He's not even a good actor. Look at this. Look at the look on his face. Look at this. Come on, man. Let's go.
That's on all the other men are. Oh, don't touch him. Don't talk to him. He may start fighting people. I don't know what to do. Daniel Penny said, I'm dropping a pair, and I'm finna put you here until the police come. And then
I can't believe, and you know what? Somebody listening to this, they getting pumped off of it, like for real. They getting real hyped. You know, because it's confirmation bias. That's all it is. You know? Boy, a clown, man. Hey, man, y'all hit that like button. Let's go.
Because the guy is a drug addict nut, probably high on all kind of stuff. He didn't make it. So what? Then the only reason Daniel Penny is even in his position, say it with me, ladies and gentlemen, because he's white. And the criminal thug is black. If he had to be, if it was a white on white, this wouldn't even make the news. If it was black on black, nobody would give a flying flip. If it was black on white, nobody would care. If Daniel Penny was the one getting choked out, nobody would care. Nobody would make it.
What people caring right now is black on white. People got a whole lot to say. Like you know, a difference of opinion now. But we're gonna see, man. Let's go.
Noise. But them race hustling thugs came out with the civil rights activists. The man threatened other black people on that train, but they don't care about that. Fest, if you haven't been to America Fest,
all right, man. That's all we need to see of that. But he talking about race hustler, a race hustler. To me, he's a race hustler for the other side.
I failed at everything I set out to do.
This was absolutely horrific.
Come on, man. Let's go. Let's make the screen a little larger, man. Y'all hit that like button, man. This dude a fool. And like I say, it's really bad acting. If you falling for this, you crazy as hell. It's really bad acting. Let's go.
And the biggest question I have is, why are you going to attract me with a knife in a bag? Let's get into this. I want to go to the senseless track meet murder of Austin Metcalf. Now, let me give you my 2 cents. I honestly believe it is.
I just don't understand. To me, I wish the young man Metcalf didn't lose his life. Straight up, that's my opinion. But I just don't understand how you can call this senseless when this person actually assaulted somebody. But the deletion of Jordan Neely wasn't senseless. He didn't touch anybody or any property. I don't understand it, man. You have to be pandering. You have to be pandering.
It's racial. The dad don't think it's racial, which I understand why. That's his son or whatever, and he don't want it to be blown out of proportion. I do think it's racial because when you look at a track meet in Frisco, Texas, I guarantee you that it's more than just one black person out there in that track meet, especially now that these cities are being flooded with new people moving into them. And allegedly, this kid had already gotten in trouble before for bringing a knife to school. Allegedly, he's not even supposed to be at the track meet. And then how he end up under another tent full of white kids and end up getting in a conversation where he's stabbing one of them and killing them. Let me give you my 2 cents. I don't know for a fact if this was race, but I do know how, generically speaking, young black men grow up with this sense of animosity towards white people. And I would
generically speaking. So it's generic, it's inherent and generic that you just hate white people. I don't think that's true. I think you have your experiences, you see things, you see obvious things like this that makes your mind wonder. That lets you know that you may be in a system that's has a 2-tiered, justice system. But I digress, man. Let's go.
would be quick to argue that one or two things happened. Either he accidentally went under the tent and felt so offended because the white boys were telling him to move from a tent that he don't belong in, and he got mad and stabbed him, or, this is my opinion, or he goes under the tent intentionally to provoke a confrontation, so then he has a reason to stab somebody. Let me tell you why I say that. Why are you at a track meet with a knife in your hand? Why are you at a track meet with a knife in the first?
First of all, man, when I was a young man, I had a small pocket knife. People in Texas carry pocket knives. You can do a lot with a pocket knife. And yeah, some people carry a pocket knife for protection. And from what I know by Texas law, a minor can carry a pocket knife under 5.5 inches. So it's not uncommon for somebody to have a small knife. That is not uncommon. I'm sorry to tell you. I don't know where you all are from, but it's not unusual. Let's go.
First place. Okay, let's get to the news clip. Roll it.
Tonight, we have new information from the deadly stabbing at a high school track meet.
Since 5 o'clock, Frisco police released the arrest report that details the moment officers arrived at the scene. The arresting officer writes when he reported he had an alleged suspect. The officer said Karmelo Anthony said he did it. According to the arrest report, the tragic event began with the suspect sitting under another team's tent as rain fell and being told to move. A witness told police Anthony immediately opened his bag and reached in, telling the victim, "Touch me and see what happens." When the victim pushed him, witnesses say Anthony pulled a knife from the bag and stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest. The murder
Hold on.
suspect.
See, think about this. They say it was raining, so he went under a tent. The tent clearly, this is the crazy thing. The tent clearly shows a team or a group of people that is not your team or your group of people. The entitlement that some people feel is insane. Even if it's raining, nobody owes you anything. Nobody has to allow you to come under the tent. It's raining. Go to.
But what gives another student the right to tell you to move? I mean, okay, if the student asks you to move and he refused to move, you'll get a teacher, an adult, a chaperone. There are people out there for that, to keep order. You understand?
To somebody else's tent
But he's gonna make the excuse though.
if you're unwelcome. So you don't have a right to be arguing with somebody under their own tent. And then you go into your bag to pull a knife out that you shouldn't have.
And let's be honest, there's still confusion on whether there was assigned seating or not. So we can't confirm whether there's assigned seating or not. At this moment, I don't have that information. Because I believe there was information about a coach coming out and saying that anybody could sit under any tent. So as of now, I can't confirm that, but people are still saying different things. But let's go.
In the first place, you had a track meet. Touch me and see. The provocation happened when he's under the tent refusing to leave. That is a provocation to start with. You are provoking them to respond to you. In Arizona, that would be an assault. So technically, although they may be the first one to touch him, his behavior, the way his demeanor, the words he's saying to them is provoking a response. You're under somebody's tent. They say you can't be under the tent. You need to leave. The fact that you're refusing to.
Man, how dare you exist? How dare you exist?
To leave somebody's tent, you're already escalating the situation. And then you tell them, touch me and see what happens. So they cannot remove you from their tent and stand their ground in their tent without you stabbing and killing one of them. That's why he went to jail. Now, because he's black, they may let him out. But that's why he went to jail. Roll the clip.
Reportedly asked police on the scene if what happened could be considered self-defense and asking if the victim was going to be okay.
This is the father of the deceased child. Roll the clip.
Take me through, as far as you know, the events of this morning. What happened? How did you get the call? How did you figure out what happened to your son?
Well, it started with a call from a football coach who was not at the track meet and said, I think Austin has been stabbed. And I said, where at? And he said, Kuykendall Stadium. I said, I'm on my way. So I drove up there, went through a load of police officers, and was able to see my son on the gurney with a huge hole and blood all over him. And they were pumping him. He wasn't breathing. And his eyes were rolled back in his head. So I had to find his brother. They're twins. And I found Hunter and tried to get him under control as best we could. And then I loaded him up in my car and we drove to the hospital as quickly as possible. And we waited. And when the doctors came in and said that he didn't make it.
Been in a car accident? Here's exactly how to get every dollar you're owed. If you've been in a car accident.
It was tough. My son took it extremely hard. I'm still in shock, to be honest. I mean, I'm numb. So it really hasn't hit me. And I don't believe any parent should ever have to bury their child. And I pray that, maybe there's changes made as far as security or things like that.
I don't want to play too much of Officer Tatum video, but I definitely have sympathy for the father that lost his child. No doubt about that, man. And shouts out to him for trying to, I guess, keep tensions down, keep, I guess, racial tensions down by trying to say this wasn't racial, which it didn't have to be. Like I said, it just could have been two kids that had an issue with each other. One happened to be black, one happened to be white. They got into it, but the grown folk All the grown folk, have to make it a situation about race. Have to make one of them a gang banger, a thug. You know, this the same scenario, which is crazy. And like I said, Officer Tatum will sit there and make every excuse. It's the same whether it's Officer Tatum, whether it's Rob Smith or Jason Whitlock. It's like listening to somebody from the KKK that don't really know black people and only know what they see on TV. You know, that's just crazy, in my opinion. We had one more person. Let me stop the screen share on that. Yeah, I'm done with Officer Tatum. He trash. But we did have one more person. Let me go to my timeline here on Twitter, man. Your boy, I made a video. I made a video about Isaiah Washington. I'm gonna play it here, man. Isaiah Washington, man. He like the day this story broke, with no information, nothing. He said just if Texas has the death penalty, then Karmelo Anthony should qualify. I mean, right off the back with no information yet on the same day. It was appalling to me. But I hear that I believe that he may be a tether. So hold on, let me share screen, y'all. Hold on, just a moment. But yeah, man, it was just crazy, man, to hear all the coons come out. Like, what a time to be alive for a coon. Um, these the checks they want to cash. All right, just a little video that I made about it, so it give you all the information. You can see the tweet that he made on Colin Ruggs' Twitter tweet or whatever, or X post, Twitter X, whatever. Y'all know what it is. Let's go, man.
What's good, family? Welcome back to the grassroots, where we keep it real, raw, and unfiltered for the people. Today, we got a special case, a so-called brother who's out here tap dancing for the applause of folks who don't even claim us. I'm talking about none other than Isaiah Washington, Mr. Grey's Anatomy himself. This dude's back at it again, showing us why he's the poster child for coonery in 2025. Buckle up, fam. We're about to light his ass up. Check this out. On April 3rd, 2025, our boy Isaiah decided to slide into Colin Ruggs' ex-post about Karmelo Anthony. You know, the 17-year-old kid in Texas caught up in that tragic stabbing case. Colin posts the story, and here comes Isaiah with his cape flapping in the wind typing. If the death penalty is still in Texas, Karmelo Anthony qualifies. Oh, word, qualifies. This man...
Like, come on, man. Like, right off the back, why would you say that? I don't get it. Like, right off the back, why would you say that against another, young black man? I mean, at least regardless of what it is, you would think that, man, you would wait to see what the details are and then make a judgment. You already know what some people are gonna rush and say. Why be a part of that? I don't get it, man. Like, I'm riding with the house on this, man, for real. Because I've seen a whole lot of people ride for the house when it was Daniel Penny. So I'm riding with the house on this.
Oh, word, qualifies. This man looked at a black teenager, 17 years old, still a kid, and said, hell yeah, fry him. And you know the timeline lit up with folks clowning him, dragging him, calling him out for the trash take that it was. But Isaiah, he doubled down. Like I said what I said. Bro, you said what they wanted you to say. Now let's keep it a buck. Isaiah Washington ain't new to this coon game. He's true to it. This is the same dude who's been out here for years running his mouth, throwing black folks under the bus while he's grinning for the cameras. Y'all remember back in 2020 when he was caping for Trump harder than Candace Owens at a MAGA rally? He told Newsweek, and this is a direct quote, "I'm not a fan of systemic racism, but I'm also not a fan of black people who use it as an excuse." Really? An excuse? So let me get this straight, Isaiah. We're talking centuries of slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, mass incarceration, police brutality, and you say we're making excuses. Man, get the hell out of here with that. And it's not just that. This cat's been on a roll. In 2017, he went on a whole Twitter rant. And yes, I said Twitter because it was still Twitter back then. Claimed black folks need to stop complaining about slavery and move on. Oh, you mean like how you moved on from being a respected actor to a washed up mouthpiece for folks who'd lock us all up if they could? He told the Washington Times in 2018 that black people need to take responsibility for our own problems like poverty and crime ain't got nothing to do with the systems built to keep us down. Hell no, Isaiah. You don't get to play that game. You don't get to sit up there with your Hollywood checks and tell foundational black Americans, the folks who built this country for free, that we're the problem. But this Karmelo Anthony thing, this is next level betrayal. Here's a black kid caught up in a messed up situation at 17 years old, the same age as Trayvon when they took him out, and Isaiah's first instinct is to call for the death penalty. In Texas, of all places. You know Texas executes more people than damn near anywhere else in America. 13 in 2018 alone, according to the Washington Times. And who's on death row? Black folks disproportionately at 43% when we're only 13% of the state's population. That's facts from the Death Penalty Information Center, and not my opinion. So Isaiah's out here cheering for a system that's been hunting us since day one. Coonery don't get no louder than that. Now, I'm not saying Karmelo's innocent or guilty. The court's got to figure that out. But what I am saying is, when a black man like Isaiah Washington sees one of our youth in the crosshairs and his reflex is to yell, "Kill him," instead of "protect him," that's when you know he's traded his soul for a pat on the head. He's out here acting like the overseer on the plantation, pointing out who to whip next. And for what? A few likes from Colin Rugg. Pathetic. Let's talk real history. Isaiah's playing a role black folks know too well. The respectable Negro who thinks kissing up to power will save him. But newsflash, bro, they don't love you. They don't even like you. You're just the token they prop up to say, "See, even one of them agrees with us." Meanwhile, foundational black Americans, you know, the ones who marched, bled, and died for every ounce of freedom we have. They're looking at you like, who raised this fool? And don't get it twisted, Isaiah's been canceled by the culture before. Fired from Grey's Anatomy back in 2007 for that homophobic slur drama. He's got a track record of stepping in shit, but he always comes back thinking he's slick, like we forgot. We see you, fam. You're the dude at the cookout who shows up with a store-bought potato salad and a white woman. Get out of here. So, there you have it, grassroots family.
Yeah, man. Isaiah pretty trash, man. I never really paid attention to him before this situation. I've been hearing him on Twitter back and forth. Yeah, he got a few crazy opinions about some things, but like I said, man, what a time to be a coon. I'm gonna say it how it is, man. But like I said, I'm riding for the house on this one, man. And we need to continue to support our brother Karmelo Anthony. I do believe that in this situation, the young brother may have been trying to defend himself. And when you look at a school fight now, kids are getting their heads stomped in. It's not like when we was coming up. Kids getting their heads stomped in while they laying on concrete. So a fight at a school can be life or death. You know? That's pretty much all I got today, man. This is just a quick live I wanted to do and just touch on that situation. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments below. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Rocking with the grassroots, man. Join us next time. We out.